Sorry.
The camera. Hello. Okay. Okay, Emma. Would you like to introduce yourself first because the audience want to know?
Hello, everyone. Yes, can you hear me? Is the audio okay?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, hi, my name's Emma. I am an undergraduate university student from Australia. I study at Deakin University in Australia, and I study two majors. I study health promotion and Indonesian language. So I speak Bahasa Indonesia, and I'm currently in Yogyakarta.
Wow.
You can speak Indonesian, Emma.
Ya, bisa.
What is the what? Oh, I was about to asking you about what is the words you know about Indonesia.
Maaf.
The words that you already know in Indonesia.
Words. Aku sudah belajar bahasa Indonesia sejak SMP. Jadi sekarang sudah 10 tahun belajar
Wow,
bahasa Indonesia.
Oh, it's
Ya.
So-
really good. Okay.
Terima
Temanya
kasih.
Revi ya.
So, before we start the conversation, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Puan Cita Iradat Pinayongan, but you can call me Nayo, and my partner is.
And my name is Athira Raynanda Ruzain, or you can call me Ray.
Okay. So before we start, audience, our topic today is about job opportunities and interview how English can help students to work globally. Yeah.
Yeah.
So before we start, what is your current activity or like what is your favorite activity in Jogja right now?
At the moment, I am doing an internship, magang. So I'm currently interning with a children's bookstore and a book publisher. So that's what I'm spending most of my time doing. But this morning I went to a market and I tried good egg for the first time. So that was a very Jogja experience.
Okay, so what do you think about good egg? Is it good?
It was okay. It wasn't
Okay.
too sweet. Yeah.
Okay. From the scale 1 to 10, how much you rate the good egg?
Maybe seven. Seven.
Okay.
It was okay.
It's
Yeah.
pretty high. It's
good,
pretty
it's
high.
good.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay.
Mhm.
So, before we really deep into the conversation right now, the audience, do you have any question to Emma? Or we might just start. And people who stand, please come in. Okay. Do you have a question for Emma, guys?
Yeah. There's anything you curious about Emma?
It's about
Or
Emma.
maybe what did he do there? Or could be she do there? Okay, sorry. No, there's no? Okay, let's just
okay.
start our first question. So, oh, it's you. Okay, I'm sorry. Sorry,
Start by me.
I'm really excited to talk with Emma though.
Me too. So the first question is, if someone isn't confident with their English yet, what's the best way to start preparing themselves for international job opportunities?
I'm answering English, yeah. I answer
Yeah.
speaking English. Yeah. I think firstly, it's okay if you're not confident speaking English. I have the experience of studying Indonesian as a second language, and I was so shy, so malu, to speak Indonesian with Indonesian people. But everyone's very welcoming. I think one of the best things you can do is join activities like this and practice, and know that it is okay to make mistakes. I still learn new English words, right? Like, I don't think I will ever be completely fluent in English. So when people ask me if I'm fluent in Indonesian, I say never. I don't think I can be completely. So accept that that's okay too, when you are learning English as well. And it's more than okay to make mistakes. It's really good to make, I think, if you're looking at job opportunities, make sure you feel really confident speaking in normal conversations as well, because then that helps you feel confident speaking about job settings and more professional workplaces. So practice that you, yeah, can understand conversational language a lot more. and then the formal side of things. I think then in a job setting, you will always at least then have a basis and a friendship sort of, and that networking before, which can really help you improve your confidence to also then apply it in more professional vocabulary, and things.
Wow, that's
Wow,
cool. Yeah, interesting.
interesting though.
Yeah, because from my experience, I'm not really fluent in English, but I do really confident to talk and conversation, like daily conversation. I'm really confident about that because like we don't have to care about grammar, like blah blah blah. But
Mhm.
I
As long
think
as we did understand each other. I'm
yeah.
sorry, I'm pretty nervous to talk with you, Emma, because this is my first time to be an MC though. I'm really
Oh,
sorry
you're
to
doing
the
very
audience.
good job. Well
Yeah.
done.
So from the audience, do you have any question or like something that you want to share to us? Like Emma did?
Or did you agree with what Emma just
Yeah.
said?
Okay, Emma,
Hi.
did you come to Indonesia before?
Before now?
Yes.
Yeah, I came to Indonesia last year for in January for 2 weeks. I did a study trip, and then I returned, and I've been here for about a year and a half. So since July of last year. Yeah.
And
Um,
how
yeah.
was your experience in Indonesia?
I really like it. I really like Indonesia. I have spent most of my time in Jogja and most of my time overall in Java. So I do have a very much like perspective of I've only seen lots of Java. But I really, really enjoyed it and I want to travel to more places as well. Indonesia is very big, so lots to see. But I also am very grateful that Australia is so close to Indonesia. So I can come back, hopefully, pulang balik
Yes.
often. Yeah.
Okay, happy to hear that, Emma. Thank you.
Thank you for your question.
Okay, Emma. So you spend your most time in Java, right?
Mhm.
Do you ever like have intention to visit like another island of Indonesia?
Maybe
Yeah.
you could try Sumatra.
Yeah, Sumatra. Like,
Pe-
please come to Padang, please.
Yeah, please come to Padang.
Yes, I would love to. I've been in, yeah, Java and then obviously Bali. A lot of Australian people go to Bali. So I have been to Bali. But I would love to travel to all of the islands. Well, not all of them. There's too many for that, but a
Yeah.
lot of the islands. Yes, especially Sumatra. I have some friends who have been to Sumatra and they really liked it and they had a great time. So that is definitely on my list. But I will return home to Australia next month in November. And then in the future, hopefully I will come back.
Okay, I hope so. Okay, we're gonna move to the next question.
So, Emma, the next question is, what step can students take to use their English skill to apply for jobs in other country? Maybe just like WHV because you're from Australia, isn't you?
Mhm. Yeah, I think we are lucky now that we are in this time when there's so many online jobs and online opportunities to speak and practice Indonesian. Um, I would highly encourage participating in like student or group activities online if you can. I know I am part of a member of the Australian Indonesian Youth Association. I can send this link information to your lecturer, which is like AIYA, AIYA. And they sometimes have online chat sessions,
Assalamualaikum Pak
like
Wadir.
Ngobrol online. And that's a really great
Itu
chance as well to practice
dua
um,
orang itu harus
your.
diaminkan Pak Edi.
I'm so sorry, Emma.
No, that's okay. Practice your English online as well
Apa,
before then
apa
looking
kabar
at a
senior?
job.
Apa kabar senior?
Okay.
Should I wait?
Alhamdulillah sehat-sehat ini lagi
Okay, I'm
sekarang
so
apa
sorry,
ini?
Emma. We have to
Kegiatan
stop
sedikit,
first.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Apa itu yang bisa dibantu Pak Edi?
Udah bilang.
Nah,
We're really sorry, Emma, because
That's
our
okay.
lecturer forgot to mute the Zoom.
Okay.
Okay.
No worries. Um, and then, sorry, could you repeat the second part of the question?
Yeah, what step can students take to use their English skill to apply for jobs in other countries?
Okay, so like applying for work from home jobs, so still staying in Australia but working for an abroad country. Is that
Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah, yeah.
yeah? hmm
Stuff like that.
Um, I think the English language test is really hard. Yeah, that can be quite hard. IELTS, how do you say it? Yeah,
IELTS.
IELTS.
IELTS, yeah. Can be really challenging. So I understand that. I recognize that that's really hard and it can be really expensive to do it as well. Um, so I recognize that and I think it's important that you don't let that dishearten you. You can show, obviously, a lot of workplaces often need that as a requirement, but you can also show your English fluency in other ways, making sure you have a really strong resume or a CV. It also could be helpful if there's an opportunity for someone who speaks English as their first language to read your resume, and check that so that then people like can edit your resume so then when you are applying for jobs where they speak predominantly English, your resume is a strong um, start, if that makes sense, as well.
Okay. Yeah, it makes sense because I know it's really hard to have a job in other countries, especially we're from
Mm.
Indonesia and we want to go to the English country. Yeah, it's pretty hard because like the IELTS, the stuff that we have to prepare, yeah, it's kind of hard and it makes sense. But as Emma said, we have to make the CV, like the high resume. Yeah. Do you have
Yeah,
any question?
CV, sorry. Yeah. In Australia, we say resume, but yes, CV is what I mean. Yeah. Yeah, have a
Okay.
CV and yeah, do the research online. A big part, I have only spent like most of my time in Australia, but in my experience when applying for jobs in Australia, they have like key selection criteria, like SC key selection criteria. And you need to make sure that you respond to each of that. That is the main goal when people in Australia at least are hiring. And also in Australia, that's something that's potentially a bit of a cultural difference. Um, in Australia, uh, apa, it's more okay to talk about your strengths and talk about, oh, I will do this and I am happy to do this. So doing some research about the country that you're applying for and the cultural um, sort of social norms of that country, I would also suggest. Um, because, yeah, I know sometimes here it's in Indonesia, at least, I've been taught that sometimes you don't talk about yourself a lot. Um, but in Australia, when you're applying for a job in that context, people expect you to talk about your strengths and be really confident explaining them. So I would also recommend, yeah, a really clear CV. And if you can get an English native speaker to check it, that would also be really helpful. And focusing on the key selection criteria in the job list. And then, uh, what did I just say last? I forgot my third point. Um, Oh, and researching the country beforehand. And if you can see some cultural norms, even like sometimes they're listed on websites for travelers, they have suggestions for travelers to what to expect. But you could expect that they may have some sort of workplace um, understandings as well on a website like that.
Okay. So it's really answering our question. And do you guys have another question for Emma? Like, do you have any, I don't know, like something going inside of your head and you want to let it out? Then yeah, you can do that.
Please, you can ask
Okay.
anything.
Hello, Emma.
Hi.
My name is Ella. You can call me Ella.
Hi,
I have a
Ella.
question. Maybe it's out of the topic, but
I want to know that you have a culture shock when you arrive in Indonesia.
Yes, a little bit. I had done some research, so I knew there would be differences compared to Australia. Um, the weather was obviously very different. I'm from Melbourne in Australia. Sorry, I forgot to say that. So south, the bottom of Australia. So it's very hot here. It's very humid, very lembab. So that was one of the big differences I noticed initially. Um, then also the communication was something. I wouldn't say it was I don't think it was a culture shock, but it's a culture difference a cultural difference I've experienced. Um, in that I find in Australia we often are more direct with our communication, and if someone asks us to go somewhere and we can't go, we'll just say no. No, sorry, no. Whereas sometimes here, our friends in Indonesia will say, oh, maybe, oh, I'm going here first, and then I
Ah,
might be able to come here.
really? Yeah.
Yeah, and I end up confused. I feel confused, but that's just because it's a difference in communication style. So that was different as well, and also a funny one. The food was a culture shock. I cannot eat spicy food, so I'm definitely learning a little bit of how to eat some spice. Yes, but great question. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Emma. So the last question is, what's your favorite food from Indonesia?
I um I really like gado-gado and also tempeh. Yeah, I really like tempeh bacem. Sorry?
But not too spicy, right?
Yes, yeah. I often have the sambal on the side.
Yeah.
Um yeah, or because the gado-gado sauce can be sometimes it's not already mixed, yeah. That be if it's like lotek or pechal, sometimes it's already mixed in. So I usually eat more gado-gado and tempeh. I really like tempeh bacem, yeah, which is
Thank,
manis, definitely sweet. Thank you.
thank you so much, Emma. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, wait. I have another out of topic question. Oh, hello. So you can't really your spicy tolerance is really pretty low. And do
Mhm.
you ever have a stomach ache because of that? Like, there's a lot of
Yeah.
foreigner got that from Indonesia.
Yeah, sometimes. Not all the time, but yeah, I have had a few experiences of stomach aches. I think I know for tourists, when tourists come to Indonesia, they always say, be careful. Um, and I just choose to, make choices that um, I know are more like less likely that I will get sick. Sometimes if there's things that my activities that my Indonesian friends do, I have to think for a second, is this going to be okay for me as well? Yes, but I've been pretty good. It's okay. It's all right. And usually if I am sick, it's fast and then I'm okay again. Yeah. Oh, I can't hear you, sorry.
Hello?
Yes, I can hear
Okay.
you now.
So,
Oh, sorry, it's paused again.
Don't
no, it's because like the battery is low.
is
The
it?
battery is like gone. Okay. So my question is like I have friends from other country also and also my boyfriend, but they were like can't really eat the street food. Do you
Mm.
ever eat the
Oh, sorry, the audio I couldn't hear the last part, but yes, street food, yeah. I eat a little bit. At the market today, I ate some. Like it was market food, not street food. But yeah, I have to be hati-hati. I have to be careful when I eat the food like that that's prepared differently.
yang itu tuh udah ada.
Dari John lagi.
Itu bukan jasang.
Iya, salah dong.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. All right. We're gonna move to the next question.
Mhm.
Even if someone speak English well, what are the biggest challenge when applying for jobs abroad, and how we can overcome them? I mean, you already answered that, but yeah, that's the question.
I think yeah, if your English is already very fluent, like that's impressive. Be proud of yourself. That's an achievement. Um, yeah, and I think also what can then help for that next level is having an understanding of the country and having a real understanding of um the workplace that you're applying for. Um, I know the advice I've received when I apply for a job is to make sure you really understand what you are applying for and the job and the workplace overall. If there's a website that has the workplace values on it, so that there you understand more about the workplace itself. So if you already have English fluently, then how can you use that English to connect better with people in the job space as well? I think is really helpful. And again, I'm assuming most interviews would be online. So um, the understanding of you being able to convey that you have done your research, even if it is an online role, I think is also important.
Okay, thank you for answering the questions. And what if when we're doing the online interview, what if like we're talking with a grammatically wrong? Is it okay? Or like it's something like, oh no, that's a biggest mistake. You're not gonna get this job. Or like what?
No, I think, look, I have never like hired before, so I can't speak from a manager or a business perspective. But I would assume that I would guess that it's more important about the work that you can do. And if you do make a few mistakes, I think people would understand that and accept that. Speaking slowly would be better. It's okay to speak slower if it means that you're going to be speaking more accurately. I think that's okay. Um, I don't speak Indonesian as fast as my Indonesian friends. Yeah, so don't feel pressured that because the interviewer might be speaking quite fast in English, that you have to respond at the same speed. It's best to speak in the speed and the way that you feel most comfortable. I would say. And if you do make a mistake or you start a sentence and you realize, hang on, I'm confused. I don't know what I'm trying to say. You can start again. It's okay to start the sentence again. I think it's better also to pause and correct yourself rather than say something that doesn't really make sense and then just skip over that. It's okay to say, oh, sorry. In Australia, at least, we're advised it's okay to say, oh, sorry, what I actually mean is, or oh, what I mean, like if to clarify, I wanted to say this. So to pause and say, oh, maybe that was not what I meant completely. I think that's okay.
Okay. I also have another interesting question. So when we're like going holiday, for example, to Aussie, Australia, uh, it's just for holiday. But can we also like having a part-time job there or like in the McDonald's or something like that?
Sorry, can you still hear me? There's just music that started. Is that
Yeah,
okay? You can hear
yeah.
me? Okay. Um, to my understanding, I think if you travel to Australia, is that music too loud? Is that okay?
Yeah. No. I
That's
can I
okay.
still
You
can
can
hear
still
you
hear
like
me?
very
Okay.
well.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I think my understanding is uh in Australia you need to have a visa that permits working. Um, so if you are coming for a holiday, I wouldn't expect that you can receive payment for paid work. I think it's only if you have a working visa or a visa that allows you to get money, like through the Australian taxation system. It's quite strict. So I think unfortunately, I don't think you would be able to get paid work, but there is the opportunity of volunteering. There's definitely volunteering places in Australia in each city, and I'm sure you would be able to find something that would mean you would be able to interact directly with community and practice and speak English. And that is a really big positive, at least in my experience when applying for jobs. Volunteer experience is also really, really positive.
Okay, that was sounds so interesting. And what about the audience? Did anybody want to go to the Aussie one day? Of course, isn't it? All of us want to go to the Aussie because we're going to be rich in Aussie, right? I mean, okay. Move. Audience, do you have any question or what? Okay. Introduce yourself, right?
Okay. Hi, Emma. I hope you very enjoy in Indonesian, okay?
Thank you.
And I hope you come to Padang.
Yes, semoga, yeah.
Um, uh, my name is Desiriana Putri. I want to ask you about in Australia, use British English or American English? Because my friend more in American English. Sorry, my English is a mess.
No, please don't apologize. You're very fluent. You're all learning English. That's something to be proud of. That's a really good question. My understanding is majority is uh, British English. Sorry. But I never, like when I learned English, I didn't learn, oh, this is British English, this is American English, if that makes sense. But the spellings, how we spell words in Australia, are most often British spellings. Australia was colonized by the British, so that is where that influence would come from. But majority of in my experience, majority of the English is the same. It's maybe just spellings, particularly with S or Z, like Z, can be different, and more slang is different, I would say. I personally traveled to America, and sometimes we didn't understand each other. Which is very funny. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Emma. Nice to meet you.
Okay. So in Australia, they all speak in British accents. Emma?
We have Australian accents, but we
Oh,
use the British spelling.
British spelling.
I have a very strong Australian accent, I have been told. I'm trying to not let it shine right now. I'm trying to speak clearer, but I can have very much an Aussie accent.
Okay. I think from the first time I heard you talking, I feel like you really have a strong Australian accent. Cause like when you say you use like your, like, like the authentic accent from Australia. So I can tell that. Yeah.
Yeah, we often we say yeah. It's like yes, yeah. Um, no, we apparently say no. That's just how I learned to say no. But and you, yeah. So yeah, Aussie accent, but British English in terms of spelling and things. But yeah, there's British slang, Australian slang, American slang. Um, just as there's so many slangs for different parts of Indonesia as well.
Okay, that's very interesting. What about the boys over there? Boys, did any of you have a question about Emma? No? But bro Stephen. Bim, you have any question? Skip. Okay. So, okay. Move to the next question. Would you?
Okay. Wait, okay. So I have another question. Okay, I have another question. Um, when you interview someone, what is the red flag or the green flag that instantly tells you if they are a good fit?
I haven't interviewed anyone, but I have been the person in interviews. So my advice for what I've learned in an interview is, yeah, certainly be very prepared. Sorry, this isn't a very good example, but have a clear background, um, um, like a white wall or a very clear background with no distractions, and have formal clothing. I think especially now, if interviews are online, sometimes people can be more relaxed, but it's still a formal interview. Still imagine that you're in um, formal clothing, and that your background is clear, and you have internet that's all set up, and you've got water beside you if you need it and things. I think the last thing you would want is to have to leave the room or something because you need a drink and you don't have a drink prepared. So I would say being uh, unprepared is a red flag. And I would say a green flag. Can you still hear me? Sorry, with the
Yes,
music.
yes,
Is that
yes,
okay? Yeah.
yes.
And I would say a big green flag is knowing the company and knowing the job that you're applying for, and having done your research, I would say is a really big green flag.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think that's really useful to us. For you guys who wants to job to want having wait, sorry. For you guys who have a job in other country. So, yeah. And I have interesting question, but it's like really out of topic. 'Cause like you've been in Indonesia for like a quite long time. And do you ever like do you ever wear a traditional clothes from Jogja? Or like I don't know, because like for foreign, it's kind of strange because like oh, it's considered as a rude thing when you try other clothes, like other traditional clothes. It's it's not from your ethnicity. So what do you think about that? Do you ever wear traditional clothes in Indonesia, or do you think it's rude?
That's a really good question. Yeah, in Australia, the general understanding is you don't wear clothes from another culture because it's cultural appropriation. That is quite often a term discussed, particularly talking about costumes and things. But here, I very much learnt that it is okay, and it can be respectful to wear batik and things. So I've visited a couple of sites in Jogja, and I've worn I don't think it's kabaya, but the top and the skirt to enter the grave, like the makam. Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay. Uh, that's pretty interesting because like in my opinion, wearing another from a perspective, yeah, if like a foreigner wearing our traditional clothes, I think it's I think it's pretty okay because like we're kind of proud of it because like oh yeah, other countries will try to learn our traditional clothes or whatever it is. I think it's pretty how is it called?
Fascinating.
Yeah, fascinating. Like it's supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. And um also I think it's not pretty I think it's not rude because like when other country try to wear our traditional clothes, it means like they want to learn, they want to know, right? So I think we're pretty proud of like if like some foreigner people wants to wear our traditional clothes. So yeah. And you
That's
have
lovely. Thank you for sharing. I'm just going
yeah.
to move location. Sorry. So you can keep talking, but my background will just move for a second.
Okay. So, do you guys have another opinion to share with Emma? Or do you have another question for Emma? So we make the good interaction with Emma. Do you have it, guys? Okay?
Okay, Emma.
Hi, sorry, I can't see you, but hello.
Okay, hello.
Hi.
You can
Oh,
hear
yes,
me?
hi. Yes, yes.
Yeah. Okay. My name is Arlinda. You can call me Alin. I have a question for you. Uh, in part-time job, we need a CV too. What kind of CV can we apply to part-time job? Thank you.
Yeah, that's a very good question. So Ines, this is very Australian, sorry. I have a very Australian context. Can you hear me? Is this okay? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah? Everyone can? Okay.
Yep.
In Australia, we have three types of work, mainly four, actually. Full-time, which is the understanding of working from 9 to 5, and that's for 5 days a week. And then we have part-time, which is usually it's still set. So every week you have the same hours. But yeah, not for 9 to 5 every day. And then we have casual work, which is flexible. You don't know your working hours, but you get a higher wage. So your pay rate is higher because your hours are more flexible. And then the last one is like contract or temporary work, where you just have a certain amount of time and then you know the job finishes at the end. In my experience, applying for all of those jobs, everyone needs a CV. So for part-time work, you certainly still need a really strong CV. In Australian jobs, you often might be asked for a CV or a resume. We call it a resume, spelt like resume. Same spelling, different pronunciation. Sorry, English is annoying. Um, you need a CV or resume. You may also be asked for a cover letter. Um, Cover letter then means that it's more specific to that job, because in your resume you don't talk about the specific job. Like a resume you could use to apply for, say, 5 different jobs, but your cover letter is different for each job. So in your cover letter, if you were applying for a part-time job, it would be important to say, like, dear the company, I'm applying for this part-time role and I'm available for these hours. So be more specific in your cover letter. Your CV is more general. That's the information I've been given. But
Okay.
definitely still need a CV. Yes.
Is it answering your question? Okay. I also have another opinion about working to other country, because like people always think that, oh yeah, we gonna work to other country because they're having big salary if we transfer that to Indonesian currency. But I think it depends on your job, right? Because like if you just do the part-time, I mean, it's just the same like we're working in Indonesia, because the life expense there are more high than the Indonesia. So you cannot really expect that you working other country and you're gonna be rich. Yes, you're gonna be rich in Indonesia, but like in there you're gonna, I don't know, maybe you have to manage your expenses. Uh, just same like you working in Indonesia, you have to calculate everything. Is it right?
Yeah. Unfortunately, yes. Australia, yeah. Like here, my Australian money is I can buy more with it. But yeah, in Australia, I can't. Yeah, it all depends on living costs. Um, if you were to be living in Indonesia but receiving an Australian wage, I would say yes, you would definitely be earning a lot more money. If you were in a higher paying Australian job. However, if you were living in Australia with that job, yes, it would probably be normal, if that makes sense. Because the living costs in Australia can really add up. Rent is really expensive.
Yeah.
For comparison, what I pay for rent for maybe 1 month in Indonesia might be 1 week in Australia. But the wage is different. It's just challenging, yeah, in terms of if an Australian business is employing people overseas, the legal requirements can be quite strict. So I would just make sure that when you're also assigning a contract for a job and checking the requirements, make sure you understand everything that's involved. And if you do need to speak to someone that speaks native English to clarify, to make sure that you understand it, I would suggest that. And also check the time difference and things because you don't want to have, well, if you're willing to, but I know some people that work from home for abroad for other countries and they're waking up at 1 a.m. in the morning because that's normal time, like working hour, siang in another country. So also consider that as well.
Yeah, I can really relate to that. And so yeah, I think that's the kind of the dark side of I don't know, it's not really dark side, but it's just like not really feel your expectation to work other country guys because like it's just the same like you guys working in Indonesia. But like Emma said, if you like working remotely, like you working in Indonesia, but the payment is from the Aussie, it's kind of like it's sure gonna make you rich because like the Australian currency is very strong. And yeah, thank you for answering our questions. And do you have another question?
Yes, I do have a question. So speak about practice in English because we are English department, and I'm going to ask you, Emma, what is the best way for our student, for me, for us, to practice our English skills to be ready for the professional world? Should we focus on watching movies or reading articles or something else? Or maybe we just make a circle like everybody who can speak English? What do you think about it?
Yeah, I think it's good to have a mix of suggestions. Movies can be helpful and fun, like they're more enjoyable. Um, but I don't know that they're super realistic, that they're very, very realistic. Um, whether there might be like a mock, like I'm not sure if you've heard the word mock interview, like a practiced interview. There's probably videos online on YouTube and things of practice interviews and yeah, mock interview where someone may pretend to actually interview you. I haven't used AI for this, but I'm assuming ChatGPT might also have some really good prompts. Now that is not don't like write your if you're responding to questions for a job interview, do not write them with ChatGPT. But you could use ChatGPT to give you ideas for something. If you do use ChatGPT for responses or things, make sure you still edit it. Because yeah, it can be sometimes people can tell when there's certain words that are used in ChatGPT that everyone else uses. It's more of like a buzzword. And you want to make sure you really understand what the words are saying because sometimes it can give you quite like fancy words that I don't even 100% understand in English. So I would say, yeah, look for online video sources, maybe on YouTube. And then also, yeah, if you can join activities where you can practice speaking it. And I would say, if you are speaking it in a circle with friends, it's okay to correct each other. If you have that basis beforehand, if you agree, okay, if I make a few mistakes here, it's okay to correct me and discuss it. So if you agree on that before, then you know that everyone's feels comfortable and safe to make mistakes when practicing as well. I think that would be really helpful. And then, yeah, if you can join online activities like, for example, Aya. I don't know if there is an Aya Sumatra yet. There's quite a few different, so there's multiple chapters throughout Indonesia and Australia. So if you can join things like that are online engagement opportunities, then you can speak it in person as well. Well, online, but in person. Yeah, hampir tatap muka.
Okay. Because in my opinion, movie is quite a lot help a lot too. Because I watch a lot of British movie. You know, I watch Peaky Blinders. Did anybody here watch Peaky Blinders? Yeah, both water. And that when I heard them speaking, and I suddenly repeat what they just said, like exactly what they say it. So that's why I think that movie is a lot. What about the audience? Did anybody here watch a lot of movies? Korean, Western, Japanese? Yamete.
I think I'm pretty agree with Ray because movie really help a lot with our accent because when the actor speaks English and they like giving out the accent, we kind of like memorize that in our head. So it's really easy for us to like how is it mock them? No, not mock them. No, but it's, yeah. You're copying them, yeah. Mm-hmm. And I also have another okay, that's not really out of topic, but I have a question. Is it Australia same like Indonesia? Like they're not really strict about the working hour because because I've been working before. I'm a waiters before in a restaurant and I have to work like a slave. Oh my gosh. And like yeah, I mean in Indonesia we have a rule that if you have a work then the work should be like 8 hours per day. But when I literally enter the job, I have to work for like 12 hours per day. So it's really tiring. And also yeah, and what about Australia? Did they really strict to the hour or just same like Indonesia, like you work as much as the boss wanted?
Um, in my opinion, Australia is definitely a lot stricter, like a lot more boundaries. Um, it it's you often don't message work people outside of working hours. Here, like sometimes I can get a message at like 10 p.m., 10 at night on WhatsApp, and I'm like, it's bedtime. This isn't work time. Um, I would say the boundaries are a lot clearer, and breaks as well when you should work, have breaks from work. This could be slightly more confusing working from home, I guess, because you're not in an office setting, but also really important to make sure you're clear on the expected hours that you work. And it's okay to ask that. And if people are sort of more accepting of saying, oh, I thought am I supposed to have a break now? Do I need a lunch break or something? Um, with your experience as a waitress, I would say that hospitality can be similar in Australia, less and more flexible, or yeah, like longer hours can be more common in hospitality employment. Um, but yeah, the if you are working in that, you would hope that the pay rate is higher if you're a casual. But you have a right in Australia that there's a we have an award. It's called an award, like a just like a list of the rules. And if you aren't if your employer is not meeting them, you have a right to say, oh, I should have this. Also, for applying for jobs in Australia, there's no age limit. That's illegal. So that's a big difference. There's no age limit. I don't think there can be gender discrimination, and often
Yeah.
places will have a note down the bottom that encourages diverse applicants to apply. So yeah, you won't often need to explain your age in something that they may not even know your age uh, when you apply for a job.
Okay, that's really a big difference from Indonesia because like yeah, in here you're right, it's kind of gender discrimination because like a lot of job wants only a guy. And also they were like really judge about how we looking. Like the you know, what is it called? requirements said like you have to be a good looking girl, you have to like 17 max 35. It was like, oh my gosh, what is this? And yeah, I have a little bit experience on my past job. When I'm a waiter, so I have to like interact with the customer and like managing the problem, like if they having a problem. Sometimes I get this I don't know, is it compliment or like judgment because like they said, "Oh, are you Indonesian?" Like, "Yes, I am." But and then okay, I know that I can speak English, but then they said, I are you Australian?" Like, I don't know, is that compliment or like that's a judgment. Yeah, and I don't know. I was like, "Oh, okay." I don't know how to say like thank you or like what. And yeah, I think it's pretty interesting. If you guys are really it's not fluent, but if you can speak English and you go work like you go to some like a restaurant F&B job like that, they might in Indonesia, especially they might in like amaze because like there's pretty a little bit employee that cannot really speak English. So yeah, that's just my experience. Yeah. And other question? Do
Also,
you
sorry,
guys?
just can I have another? I'll mention with your
Okay.
CV.
Mm-hmm.
If you are applying for jobs overseas, it may be simpler to include your nama panggilan, like the name that you go by for an
Uh-huh.
interview at the
Oh,
top.
nickname?
Yeah, yeah, not yeah. Or seeing like in Australia, people often have two names, a first name and a family name. So it might be simpler to include that in the top, and you don't need to include a photo. And also religion is not relevant. I know on KTP in Indonesia, it has your religion on it. So in a CV, you would not need to provide your religion. You shouldn't need to provide your age either. So yeah, if you search for an example of a CV in that country, in Australia, it would not be normal to have your age, your religion, or like the photo on your CV. But I know KTP in Indonesia can have more details, but you don't need all of them for, say, a job application, for example. So just do that research as well. So you're only given the information that they need or want, if that makes sense.
Okay, that's pretty interesting. And do you have questions? Okay, our audience have a question.
Okay, I want to ask about entrepreneurship. Can I? So my friend from London is involved in an entrepreneurship organization. Uh, does that help him find a job? And how to Aussie? Uh,
So an
how about
entrepreneurship
yes?
or an internship, sorry.
Uh,
Entrepreneur,
no,
internship.
entrepreneurship organization is an entrepreneurship.
Yeah. So they're they make businesses sort of like a startup, yeah. They
Mhm.
help with new businesses. Yeah. I think, yeah, any experience is really helpful. Any experience that you can get, particularly, I'm not sure if your university does it, but things like KKN show really good examples of volunteering and community engagement as well. So that's also a really good chance to explain what you've done. And in my experience, if your friend had an example of something that they had done at that business, it would be very helpful for them to explain it. In English, we call it STAR, as in bintang, because for STAR. And that's situation, task, action, and results. So the situation, so it might be there was this task I had to do at work. And then the task is, okay, what did your friend do? And then the action is even more detail of how your friend helped solve that problem or something. And then the result is, oh, this was what was successful. So any sort of example of something like entrepreneurship, work in general, KKN or community service, you can then use examples from that to demonstrate. how you meet that key selection criteria, like those goals that they want employees to have. So yeah, I would say it's definitely any experience is helpful.
Okay, Emma, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Emma, for any final motivation words or practical tips for students who feel nervous about using English in a professional context? And for like, I heard a lot like, why did you speak English? Just speak Indonesian. Minang lah Jawi. I don't like that. Because all of us speak like that. And I feel like, what did you do? We are English department. I was like that. And so what did you think about it? So what is your final motivation?
Because we already out of the time right now. Do you have any motivation for us? Like Ray said?
Yeah, I think definitely be brave and practice it. Practice speaking your English with people when you can. And know that it's normal to make mistakes. I will never be fluent in Indonesian. And I learn new English words too. So it's okay. That's all right. In terms of professional contexts, yeah, do your research. And yeah, if you watch videos that have examples of professional interviews and things in English, I think that would be really helpful as well. If you are looking for jobs abroad, English can really open up opportunities in Indonesia as well as abroad too, right? So a lot of people can speak English here too. And yeah, allows you to make connections with people from all around the world, which is really impressive as well. There's so many countries that speak English. So you can really form some nice friendships as well, and it sort of gives you that opportunity too. And give yourself some credit. I'm sure you probably speak more than just Indonesian and English. Yeah, you might speak other languages too. So that's also very impressive. So give yourself a pat on the back. Be proud of yourself.
Okay, thank you very much, Emma. Thank you for give us your time to share your experience and knowledge about the job opportunities from other country. So because we're already out of the time, do you have anything to say? Maybe from the audience?
Okay, from the audience, do you have any something to say to Emma before we end our conversation? No?
I will just add,
Boys?
Bule.
Okay.
If people specifically about Australia, if you are interested in studying in Australia or working in Australia, there is working like visas that you can apply for. What some of the biggest things that can make it challenging is you need to have like prove a certain amount of money in your account, which I think can be quite challenging. I know I had to do that for Indonesia too. But there is some amazing scholarships available. I am just speaking obviously about Australia because I'm from Australia, but there's an Australia Awards scholarship if you're aware of that, which is usually for S2 if you want to do that in Australia. Then there's also Al which way that scholarship, if you know which one I'm talking about.
LPDP. It's
LPDP.
LPDP.
Alpadepa, yeah, you can use that to that can be to Australia as well if you're interested in Australia. And there can also be university specific scholarships available too. So the scholarship can really help with that too. I think Australia Awards, there's the Australia Awards scholarship, they may also help with immigration, which is also really helpful. And yeah, there's some popular universities in Australia that receive a lot of Indonesian students, particularly Melbourne University, which is the city I'm from, and Australian National University, ANU. And one of the closer ones to Indonesia is Perth, the city of Perth, which is UWA, the University of Western Australia. So if you wanted to note them down, in case you are interested in coming to Australia in the future, know that there is some scholarship opportunities as well. That's how I first came to Indonesia. I received a scholarship. So there's the return of that as well. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Emma. I appreciate it. And thank you for your time. And we're already running out of time. Please give applause to Emma and all of us. What did Bang Stephen? What is it? Love? Oh no. Okay.
Yay, thank you, Emma. This is our
Thank
I
you.
hope we can meet another time. Maybe you're gonna visit Padang and we're gonna have a conversation again. So thank you very much for your time, Emma. And bye-bye. Have a great day, please.
Thank you, everyone. Semangat. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Emma. Nice to see you later. Perhaps we can have a chit chat.
Terima kasih
Okay.
banyak, Putri.
Terima kasih.
Bye, everyone. Semangat
Bye-bye.
belajar bahasa Indonesia and English.
Okay. Oke, ini live.
Yang record siapa?
Di situ langsung.